Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about the running costs of a 2003 smart car, first generation smart car. Are they really as cheap to run as people say? Now this is a subject that's quite popular with these cars, because obviously they were designed to be a super sort of cheap, affordable solution to getting around a city. Now, as you can see here, we don't do much city driving in this car. We use it every day, a 20-mile commute, driving backwards and forwards on country lanes, country roads, etc. So how does this thing do? Well, to be honest, I've well documented the little issues we've had with this car, but we're not going to include that in terms of running costs. I'm going to include fuel, tax, insurance, that sort of thing only, because those are the costs of running a car when it's working. So fuel economy wise, we average around 58 to the gallon. That's on relatively fast country roads, quite a lot of stopping and starting at junctions. I crossed 4 crossroads on my journey, so it's not the most ideal journey for this car to do in terms of fuel economy, but it does it very, very well. And 58 miles per gallon is far better than the 36 I get from my BMW 5 Series, so I can't complain one bit at that. If you're doing a lot of town driving, we find that this car gets around 45 mpg. I think that's the worst you've ever had out of it. And then a good motorway run, you'll be getting more like 70 mpg, which is amazing. We drove all the way back from Birmingham and barely used any fuel whatsoever. Once you're up to motorway speeds, this car is very happy and very easy, especially since we've had the remap as well. It seems to be much happier to go into 6th gear. So that's something to bear in mind. Tax wise, this car is only £35 a year to tax. The 0.8 diesels are actually cheaper, they're free, and the earlier ones I think are £130. The 0.6 engine, it depends on the year and trim of your car, bizarrely. So just bear that in mind. It's exempt from ULEZ again, but the 0.6s aren't, and I don't think the diesels are either. So if you're looking to get one, you need to get a petrol that isn't the 0.6 litre engine. This is the 0.7, this one. So in terms of those running costs, it's a very, very affordable car, I think, anyway. Insurance wise, I've got an unlimited mileage policy for 2 of us, and that cost me around £250 a year. So again, very cheap for what you get, really. One cost that did surprise me actually was tyres. Now this has recently had 2 new front tyres on. You may be able to see those. They were just cheap. What are they? In a Euroviz. So basically I was quite surprised. I was thinking, because the tyres are so small, they're not much wider than a bicycle tyre really. They're a similar width to the BMW i3 tyre. So they're particularly narrow. I think, what are they? 145 sections. So they're very, very narrow indeed. And these were over £230 for 2. Which some people may say, well, you know, that's not much. But actually, when you're considering it's a non-brand tyre, look at the amount of rubber you're getting for the price of a reasonable tyre on something like a bigger car, say like a 5 Series. So that's something to consider, is that the tyres, because they're a funny size, are a little bit more expensive. Now, what some people do is they buy an extra set of back wheels, which are 175 sections, so they're slightly wider, put those on the front wheels as well. This improves handling and also means that the tyres are cheaper, because it's far easier to find these tyres here, the 175 15 inches, than it is the front tyres. So just because they're a more common tyre size among small vehicles, so that's something to bear in mind as well. You could quite easily get carried away and spend £800 on new tyres for this car, if you went for full top spec Continentals or something like that. For what I use it for, it doesn't seem to really justify it. I drive it probably between 45 and 55 miles per hour. It's not doing long journeys. I'm very close to home most of the time, or it's popping to the shops. So it doesn't need a high performance tyre. Obviously in winter, that might change. And I might buy a set of winter tyres for it if we don't sell this car before next winter. But yeah, interesting things. Servicing, now it depends what you want to do. I service this car myself, therefore it's very cheap. It doesn't take much oil, the filters are cheap. I could probably do a service on this for £80, no problem at all. However, if you're paying someone, you need to go to a smart specialist and they can charge a premium. I think I paid just over £100 for a full service from a specialist when I first got this car, just because I didn't have the equipment to do it. And that's the thing, that you need to extract the oil. They don't have a sump plug like a lot of cars, so just bear that in mind. But in terms of, they are cheaper to run than a lot of smaller cars. You've just got to bear in mind that because they're niche, parts are slightly more expensive. They're only built for the smart car most of the time, and that's it really. Now just one caveat, this car is fitted with LPG as well. LPG is currently 90p per litre, and when I was running this car on LPG, it was exceptionally cheap. I was averaging 50 miles per gallon on LPG, so I was essentially reducing my fuel costs by about 50%, and it was excellent, especially during the fuel crisis when people were paying £2 per litre. So there are ways of running these cars even cheaper. That I currently don't have the LPG system running because there's a fault with one of the injectors, but it is brilliant, and it's a useful thing to have on it, for example, for when we had the fuel crisis, for example. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know how much you think your running costs compare to, say, something like a Volkswagen Up or something. I think they're probably comparable. I think for the price difference between a car like this that we paid £1,300 for and the decent Volkswagen Up, which is probably going to be £3,500 to £5,000, you're going to struggle to make that money back. They're cheap to run and they're brilliant little cars on the whole. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Cheers.